Now at 10, we learn the story of Austin Allen during a tour of the Austin Allen building in Joplin. Plus, Pitt State has a new head football coach. We'll tell you why Ryan Wright is leaving and who's taking over the program. And Carl Junction kicks off the Christmas season with the Christmas parade. We'll take you there.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A Carl Junction family is displaced after a house fire. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Elise Noe. It happened just after 6 p.m. yesterday in the 5600 block of County Road 300. The house was severely damaged in the fire. 2 people were inside at the time of the fire, but both made it out uninjured, though they say pets did not make it out. The Red Cross was assisted to help the displaced residents. The family of a Wichita woman is calling for change after allegations mistakes made by 911 dispatchers contributed to her death. On October 13th, Poloi Bedeski, was killed in a fire at an apartment complex. The Wichita Firefighters Union says the dispatch had information someone was trapped inside the building, but it never informed firefighters. As Braden Stitt reports, family says the lack of communication cost Bedeski her life. We want to warn you that this story does contain the victim's 911 call.
These failures cost Paoli her life.
An attorney for the Bedeski family calling the failures of Sedgwick County dispatchers a contributing factor in Paoli's death at Brook Hollow apartment.
We now know that it was Paoli's 911 call that initiated the dispatch of firefighters to the Brook Hollow apartment building. Even though Paoli clearly and repeatedly told the dispatcher the apartment number where she lived and was trapped, that crucial life-saving information was never given to the firefighters on the scene.
Help me, please.
Sedgwick County Commissioner Jim Howe defending the dispatchers.
Again, I don't want to point blame. I don't think that's appropriate, but people in public safety are human beings. They have to make decisions. Ultimately, it comes down to training and doing what you remembered that you learned.
But the family says that training didn't work.
Firefighters' request for a second alarm and additional personnel to help at the scene was delayed for over 17 minutes because the dispatchers were not trained well enough on the computer-aided dispatch system.
The Bedeskis, along with the Wichita Fire Union, now calling for change.
The family wants to make sure that this doesn't happen to anyone else.
Meteorologist Katie Frazier joins us for a first look at weather.
Happy Sunday, everyone. The winds came quick and they're going to stick around with us overnight tonight. We'll have a few showers possible tomorrow, as well as a warming trend is expected over the upcoming week. And we'll also talk about your next chance of rain. Actually, it might come sooner rather than later. But first, maybe you might be doing some gift wrapping tonight. I know actually I was thinking about all my purchases that I need to make for my family and friends, but you might already have them. So temperatures are going to be in the 40s, dropping down to the mid-40s by midnight tonight, but the winds are really going to be the greatest factor that we'll have throughout the next several days. So I'll have more on the timing of the winds, how long they're expected to stick around, and how strong they'll be. Also, we'll talk about your next chance of rain coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, we'll see you soon. Grace Lanes and Christ Community Judo today teamed up for a self-defense fundraiser. The purpose of the fundraiser was to raise money for insurance so the classes can be taught free of charge. Attendees were able to bowl with friends and family while bidding on various Christmas gifts.
So Grace Lanes is amazing enough to allow us to take these 3 hours, and all of the proceeds that go, all of the bowling proceeds come straight back to the club.
Some of the items up for bid included baskets full of tumblers, blankets, and various types of candies. Responsible for multiple entries in the National Register of Historic Places, architect Austin Allen had designed multiple buildings in the Joplin, Webb City, and Oronogo area. Today, historian Brad Belk shares Allen's story with attendees as they embark on the Austin Allen building tour. KOAM's Jasmine Knight has more.
Samuel Austin Allen, born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1880,
quickly became known as the most distinguished architect during Joplin's first 50 years.
Well, these historic structures that he designed are, and which lived way beyond him, are significant because of their nature of what they did in our community. Their style, their architectural style is really fascinating. They're well put together buildings.
Within 14 years, he built many residential four-room houses for people of moderate means. Most of these residences were modern bungalows featuring overhanging porches and roofs.
I'm going to kickstart this tour off and give them some highlights of Austin Allen's career, but primarily use some sources that where he explains what architecture means to him. And so, you know, it's always good to get that first-person perspective.
Some of the historic sites included on this tour includes the St. Peter's Apostle, the United Hebrew Temple, the Olivia Apartments, and the Newman Brothers Building, which currently stands as Joplin City Hall.
Austin Allen's buildings are significant because many of them are on the National Register of Historic Places. And when you're on that list, that's a very, very small list. And so it's the nation's greatest buildings. And so he fits the bill in that respect.
Allen even built houses for some of Joplin's notable historic figures, such as Tom and Frank Lennon, Adam S. Scott, and the Pitcher family. Some of the buildings on this tour have been converted to serve new purposes, such as the building behind me. What used to be Joplin High School is now Joplin Schools Administration Building. Reporting in Joplin, Jasmine Knight, KOAM News.
The tour features 18 sites, 15 in Joplin, 2 in Webb City, and 1 in Oronogo. 10 of those sites showcase the interior and exterior of the building, while the others only showed the exterior. Santa came to Columbus, Kansas today for the CUHS Career and Technical Education Holiday Market. Attendees were able to take pictures with Father Christmas himself by Stacy Grain Photography. Each photo was $15. After meeting Santa, attendees were able to continue their Christmas shopping from more than 25 vendors.
Today there's a little bit of everything from baked goods to fishing poles, Christmas ornaments, home goods, decor, Western gear, all kinds of different things here for everyone and to finish out their shopping list.
Santa flew in at noon and left around 4 this afternoon. Residents of Carl Junction were able to get outside and enjoy the nice weather today with the Christmas parade. The parade began at 2 this afternoon and featured a performance by Carl Junction senior and junior high bands. JROTC representing the colors and, of course, Santa Claus.
I appreciate the spirit in Carl Junction that we have, that everybody participates and everybody is willing to come along and listen, and the city of Carl Junction has great community spirit and we just love every aspect of the city here. Main Street.
Area businesses also took place in the parade, such as Redemption Motorsports and Car Buddies. Coming up, the Better Business Bureau is warning against a new holiday shipping scam. Plus, how one business is taking old clothing items and turning them into something new. Many consumers are looking for debt counseling during the holiday shopping season. Credit counseling agency Money Management International says it saw a 44% increase in counseling requests compared to last year. The agency says calls usually decrease in November and December, but there has been a steady rise in calls from consumers in the last 18 months. The average debt of consumers looking for help has also risen from about $20,000 to nearly $30,000. Holiday shopping is in full swing. That's why the Better Business Bureau is warning against holiday scams. The nonprofit organization says it has received multiple reports about shipping fee scams from consumers who marked their online purchases as gifts. The BBB says the scammers reel consumers in by charging an additional fee for special discreet packaging or stamps. With the holidays coming up, savvy shoppers are turning something old into something new, and it's big business. Used clothing sales are expected to exceed $77 billion by 2025, more than double the amount from 4 years ago. As CBS's Elise Preston shows us, stores credit thrifty Gen Z buyers, the environment, and TikTok.
$30 and they're Gucci and they're fabulous and they're yes.
One person's trash is another person's trend.
I found Dior, I found lace, I found vintage Harley boots in my size, vintage Tommy Hilfiger, and of course, Juicy Couture.
Thrifting TikTok or Thrift Talk boasts billions of views and counting. We tagged along with influencer Macy Elaney.
A really good thrift tip is to practice self-control.
She teaches her nearly 500,000 followers how to buy efficiently at thrift stores, estate sales, and yard sales. Her typical shopping trip is less than $40.
Growing up, I couldn't imagine that I would be able to afford pieces like that I looked through fashion magazines lusting over. And then I started going to the thrift store and realized that, oh my God, these items are here. It's not just a random track and field marathon t-shirt that someone donated years ago.
With some discounts of up to 90% off retail, attitudes about thrifting have changed, with secondhand goods now seen as better for your budget and the environment.
Why do you think there have been so many emerging consumers?
Yeah, it's really a generational shift in consumption. When you look at the young, they care about the planet, they care about sustainability, they care about making good choices for their futures.
Top fashion designers are also taking note of the trend. More than 120 retailers now resell their clothes. For Macy Elaney, fast fashion will never beat the thrill of the hunt.
It's been really
Elise Preston, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Walmart is the latest company to stop advertising on X, formerly known as Twitter. In a statement, the retailer says it has found other platforms to reach their customers. It comes a month after Elon Musk was accused of supporting anti-Semitism on that social media platform, which he owns. Other companies have also paused their advertising on X, including Disney, Lionsgate, and Warner Brothers Discovery, the parent company of CNN. On Wednesday, Musk apologized for his controversial post, but then blasted advertisers for leaving the platform. A little later, the Pitt State football program has a new head coach. We'll break down the regime change in sports.
I hope you all had a wonderful weekend, and today we were waiting for the winds and they didn't quite impact us, which was a good thing for most of the day, but then the past 3 hours they certainly have. Here's a look at our Indigo Sky camera, and yeah, it's not very wet. You can't really see the winds going on out there right now, but let me tell you, the winds did pick up across the entire region. Here's a look at the peak winds we saw for Joplin, 39 miles per hour, Nevada, 24, Monet, 33, Grove, 31, 30 in Yates Center, 24 out at Fort Scott. So all of these measurements came within the past 2 to 3 hours. It really came in quick, and I expect them to stick around for the next couple hours as well. Rain-wise, we do have some rain moving out of the area right now. I'm not even too sure that a lot of this hit the surface, but if it did, it dried up quick, especially with these winds moving in across the region. For the next couple hours and overnight tonight, we will expect those winds to stay in place, but by 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, they'll be more at a breezy level. So right now they're breezy to windy, but tomorrow morning they should be at a breezy level. They'll back off for the middle portions of your day tomorrow lunchtime, looking not too bad across the 4 states, but then we'll have another period of winds moving into our region from looks like 8 o'clock into the overnight hours from Monday into Tuesday once again. So similar like tonight, winds will be up to 20-25 miles per hour. Then look at this, by Tuesday morning we'll have another breezy, maybe even windy morning with wind gusts possible up to 25 miles per hour. What about those rain chances? As I mentioned before, they will have an impact on us, but it looks like after we're done sleeping, or at least in bed for us on your Monday night. This is Monday morning, some clouds down, moving towards the Ozark Mountains with clearer conditions up more towards Kansas. And then as we move throughout the day on your Monday, skies will be clear, winds will back off, temperatures will warm into the low 50s across the 4 states. And then as we look Monday, 6 o'clock, clouds moving in from the north, and then rain will come with it as well. Not expecting any thunderstorm activity. This will be light rain moving in across the 4 states. Looks like Joplin will be dry as of 10 o'clock tomorrow night, but then as we move from 10 o'clock into the overnight hours, we all can see at least a little bit of a drizzle as we're in bed. So you'll be dreaming about the rain, and maybe it'll actually be raining outside. By Tuesday morning, not too bad for your trip back to work. So thinking of back to work, tomorrow temperatures will be in the 50s, wind gusts impacting us in the morning and the evening, and that 10% chance of showers for tomorrow. Cool and breezy conditions stick around for Tuesday and Wednesday. Then we'll warm back up into the 60s for Thursday and Friday. And speaking of Friday, looks like our next chance of rain will impact us then all the way through Saturday, and then cooler temperatures will return by Sunday of this upcoming weekend.
Last month was reportedly the warmest November on record. The Japan Meteorological Agency reports that November 2023 beat the previous record set in 2020 by 0.3 degrees Celsius and was 1.6 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial temperatures. November also marked the 6th month in a row of record global average temperatures. Coming up in sports, the Kansas City Chiefs take on the field on primetime once again. Plus, Pitt State football announces a new head coach. Brock Baldridge has the details and more up next.
Well, we start with some breaking news. Pittsburgh State Gorillas football program announces a new head coaching change. Pittsburgh State head coach Brian Wright is leaving the program. Wright accepts a new job at Northern Arizona University. The past 4 seasons, Coach Wright has led the Gorillas to a 33-8 record. That includes coming off of back-to-back MIAA conference championships. Since Wright was hired, the Gorillas have also made 2 appearances in the NCAA Division II playoffs. So with that being said, here is the new man in charge. Pittsburgh State hires their former defensive coordinator, Tom Anthony, to become the 16th head coach in program history. Anthony originally came over from Western Illinois after the 2019 season to join Brian Wright's coaching staff. In 2022, Pitt State's defense under Tom Anthony led the MIAA in scoring defense, total defense, and sacks. Coach Anthony took a year off of coaching this past season to pursue a separate profession outside of football, but after it's all said and done, Tom Anthony returns to Pittsburgh, and he is your newest Pitt State men's football coach. So here is Tom Anthony's first statement as a Pitt State head coach. And quote, "I am thrilled to be moving back to Gorilla Nation to lead this incredible program. Thank you to the administration and leadership for putting their trust in me. And thank you to Coach Wright for giving me my first opportunity and my entire family who will remain lifelong friends. I'm looking forward to getting back on the field with the players and back into the community," end quote. Well, we go from one Pitt State coaching story to another. Former Pitt State Gorilla Willie Fritz entered the Big 12 Conference now after his new head coaching gig. Former Pittsburgh State player Willie Fritz is headed to Houston University to become the coach of the Cougars. Fritz spent his previous 8 seasons at Tulane. Fritz played football at Pitt State from 1978 to 1981 as a defensive back. Now Willie Fritz started his head coaching career at Pitt State as an assistant coach in 1982, so he has now spent the past 31 seasons as a college football head coach. Well, the Kansas City Chiefs are on the road for the 2nd straight weekend. This week, the Chiefs hit the frozen tundra at Lambeau Field. It's Sunday Night Football as the Chiefs face the Green Bay Packers, a rematch of Super Bowl I. Last check, it's the Green Bay Packers who currently lead 27-19 in the 4th quarter. Story here has been Jordan Love with 3 touchdown passes in this game. Look like the Chiefs start to rally here late in the 4th quarter. In men's college hoops, Missouri versus Wichita State in the 2nd half. Tigers up by 9 points. Tamar Bates gets the steal and throws it down on the other end. Left hand is good there. Later in the half, Mizzou up by 8 points. Sean East on the pick and roll over to Jordan Butler. Missouri still up by 10 points after the 2-hand slam. So after 5 minutes left in the game, here is Carolyn Beverly, the sweet layup there. Shockers sticking around in this one, not going away. Wichita State trails by just 4 points. With over 2 minutes left in the game, Mizzou leads by 3. Sean East from beyond the arc knocks it down. He is money. Tigers pull away in this one as Mizzou gets the win at home, 82-72. To look for sports, we'll be back right after this.
Don't forget to tune in to KOAM's Toy Box Tuesday Telethon this week right here on KOAM News at noon, 5, 6, and 9 on Fox 14. We'll have volunteers standing by to take your donations over the phone during our newscast, or you can start now by simply pointing the camera on your phone at this QR code. Toy Box is one of the area's largest toy drives to benefit underprivileged children in our local area. Please give what you can to help make sure every child in our area has a Merry Christmas.
Here's a look at your next 10 days for you folks in Joplin. We do have a 10% chance of rain tomorrow. It will be tomorrow night. Wind gusts will stick around tonight into tomorrow morning. They'll return tomorrow night. You'll have more wind gusts for your Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then your next chance of rain will be on Friday and Saturday, with cooler temperatures following behind.
And the Chiefs game just ended.
The Chiefs lose this one to the Packers, 27-19. A little surprise with that performance by the Chiefs. But speaking of other football happening in our area, Brian Wright leaves, go to Northern Arizona. I mean, was it a big shock? We kind of figured he would move on elsewhere, but I don't think I expected that to happen on a Sunday night. I think that was a little bit of a surprise. But also, new head coach Tom Anthony, congrats to him. The new head coach will have an introductory press conference on Thursday, so we will have full coverage of that.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Brock. That's our time for now. We'll leave you with a video from today's Christmas parade in Carl Junction. Thanks for making us part of your night.